What's happening, everybody? Today is October 1st, and as you know, October brings a crap ton of games that people are going to review and just all that jazz throughout the entire month. But as of right now, there's actually only one game that I am particularly interested in, and that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Unfortunately, I can't get my hands on the game earlier. I will be getting it a couple days early, but that's just because I paid $200 for the collector's edition. Besides the point. So instead of reviewing that or unboxing anything, until it comes, I am actually going to do a top 5 list of my favorite Assassin's Creed games, excluding Assassin's Creed Odyssey, obviously. But with that, let's start off with number 5. Coming in at number 5, we actually have AC2. Now, Assassin's Creed 2 follows the story of Ezio Auditore as he has this quest of personal revenge against the Templar Order for killing his father and two brothers. But as he meets up with people from the Assassin's Creed Order, he has a change of heart and realizes that he has a greater duty to the people of the city that he lives in. This is my 5th pick for my favorite game because it is actually my first Assassin's Creed game that I have ever played, and so I just instantly fell in love with it. And I may be looking through rose-colored glasses, but it really was one of my favorite games for the longest time. I can't tell you how many times I have ended up replaying it. Yes, some of the mechanics were meh, and there's a whole stack of like little issues here and there, but in my opinion, it is still a solid game that people can learn to love and play through even today. I really should replay it. Either way, moving on to number 4. Number 4 actually goes in the direction of continuing with Ezio Auditore. It is actually an AC Brotherhood, where he continues his fight against the Templar Order, but because the Templar Order is so large at this point in the story, he actually has to recruit other people into the Assassin's Brotherhood. And that's why I put it at number 4 personally, because they tweaked some of the mechanics, but one of my favorite mechanics actually was recruiting new assassins. I don't know why I liked that so much, but I loved being able to customize everything about them, and being able to send them on missions to other countries. And I also liked having them on standby in case I got in too deep with anything that was going on. And that really just kind of stuck with me, and as it turns out, it was one of my favorite mechanics that they took away. I understand that Brotherhood was not really the best AC game either, and again, it had a pile of like the little nuances, and it is an older game that make it hard compared to some of the new AC games that we have recently. But it is still one of my favorite AC games to go back and play. Which brings us to number 3. My number 3 choice actually kind of slid under the radar for most people for a long time, I think, and that is actually Assassin's Creed Rogue. Rogue's story followed the assassin Shay Cormac, where he is an assassin turned Templar in the game, and that personally really resonated with me because I love hearing stories from a different perspective. How there was this shift from seeing everything through the assassin's order and point of view to seeing how everything is viewed by the Templar Order. And honestly, I would like to see them make another game like this, where it kind of flips it on its head, where we get to see the world from the Templars' point of view. I also liked it just because it tied into the other AC games very nicely, and it kind of tied up some loose ends and it also kind of gave the story of what was some other stuff that was going on in the background and what people were doing at different times in the Assassin's Creed timeline. And with that brings us to number 2. Number 2 is actually AC Origins, the last game that just came out in the Assassin's Creed franchise. This came in at number 2 because obviously they redid the whole Assassin's Creed design. It's much more of an RPG game now than it was ever before, and it had a huge open map with plenty to do, a large variety of side quests that were actually interesting and meaningful, not just go kill this guy and for little to no reason. I mean, you still go and just go kill that guy. But there's more of a backstory to it, and they explain what's going on in the world at that time. I also really liked Origins just because it gave an insight on how the Assassin's Order came to be. With that, we come to number one. And my number one Assassin's Creed game is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, this may not come to a surprise to any of you. A lot of people out there love Black Flag. It was a great game with lots to do, and the fully developed mechanic of building on a ship and boarding other ships was, I think, what made people fall in love with this game. Or that's the same reason why I fell in love with this game as well. Building out your ship, building out your arsenal of stuff that of your guns and your holsters and just all that stuff, and just exploring all the different islands and finding treasure. To me, it was just a fascinating game with lots to do and a very interesting story. Again, one of the more interesting stories out there for Assassin's Creed. The basic synopsis of the story is that Edward Kenway was just a pirate, just doing his pirate thing and all that jazz. But then he runs into an assassin and he tries to impersonate him. But then it just kind of keeps going from there, and he learns more and more about the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And again, like other characters in the past, he realizes that there is something going on that's bigger than him and bigger than what he wants, and he eventually becomes a full-blown assassin. And that kind of story arc I find fascinating as well. That is why I have put Assassin's Creed Black Flag as my number one choice. So now you have heard my top 5 Assassin's Creed games. If you disagree, please leave your thoughts down in the comments below. If you agree with me, please leave your comments down below. And if you have... And I would also love to know what your favorite Assassin's Creed game is. And I'd love to hear any other comments down below as well. Like I said earlier, I am planning on getting Assassin's Creed Odyssey and getting the collector's edition with it. And so if you want to see that, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell as well, so that you will know when I put out more content about Assassin's Creed in the near future. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. It really helps me out to figure out what you guys like and what you guys don't like. So any criticism or anything like that is also welcome down in the comments, just to try to make these videos better. But with that, this is 3G Geek signing off.